So what, like, how do you want me to, can I wear sunglasses or? The reason why I'm here, they're pretty self-sufficient painters. Usually I don't really have to be here too often when it comes to actually teaching them how to paint. They know what they're doing. We've been going through tape, just all the materials, and I had to drop some off for them. And then while I'm here, I also just make sure everything's going according to plan. I'll check for quality. I'll point out little things that I see here and there. And Chris, for this window, you're actually gonna have to mask all the metal too. So, because this can't get painted. So this has been painted, it's just I realized that the prep hasn't been done right. So that's why I started picking at certain places so they know that they have to come back and do touch-ups there. This is just the first coat. So that's why I'm just going everywhere. We had to sand down the majority of this building. It's just some places are missed, obviously. But that's why I'm here. I catch them. Once they come back and do the second coat, I already told them to give it a quick little sand and it'll be perfect after that. But yeah, and like the reason why I'm doing this is just so like we don't have to come back after with the client and they point it out, right? So much more. It doesn't really happen too often that we have to come back to a job and fix things after we leave. That's why I'm constantly coming to the job sites and picking out little things. And then once the job is actually done, we do another walk around with the client to make sure that they like everything they see. Sometimes I'm the most expensive quote and I will still be the one that's asked just because like they understand that there's the quality and the professionalism behind the quote too, right? And like I tell them every estimate, I'm like, we're not gonna leave until you're fully happy with your job. Yeah. And we make sure you're fully happy with your job every time. Obviously I never ran a business before this. Absolutely everything I did was brand new. I've been with StudentWorks for 3 years. Definitely a lot of growth, and anyone that does StudentWorks will see that growth too. So I mean, like, yeah, first year we did around 60 grand worth of work, and then this year we will hopefully do around 3 times that. First year, like I remember, like you have a 10 grand week, and like in a week, like doing like 5 estimates, 10 estimates, like you have a 10 grand week, like you had a good week. But like this year, like you book a 10 grand job, then maybe you're gonna have a good week, you know, like. Because like people are booking like 30 to 50 grand a week in some places in Canada. My personal biggest week was probably like 25 grand, which still pretty good. Like I just had like the money that I had with previously to start my business, which wasn't much. And like with that, like I bought like a trailer, couple ladders, and I had like a 4-person team and like pretty small, but like it was sustainable. But like, yeah, that was all out of pocket. I was able to use like the little income I got from my first year to kind of grow it a little more for the second year. So like, that's why second year, like I got more ladders. Oh, and we also bought a sprayer. Like a sprayer is pretty big. And then this year we have another sprayer. So we have 2 sprayers, 20 ladders, and just like a bunch of stuff that like, honestly, like we have extra, but like it's nice because like we're never having to trade it around job sites. It's always like everyone has their own sort of thing.
Have you ever had a painter who just wasn't up to your standard?
Oh yeah, I mean like this year alone I've had to let go 3. So like honestly like every year I notice my standard going up like with painters. I give them 2 weeks and I kind of let them know because like that's why like everything's piece rate, right? Like everything is quoted out for the average painter to be able to do it in that time frame. And if you're not able to do it in that time frame, like after a certain amount of time, like there might be another problem other than just you not being able to pick it up fast enough. So painting isn't for everyone. Like ladders, for example, last year I had a bunch of guys that just weren't comfortable with ladders, and like we're working with ladders all the time. Like we one day we'll probably even work with like a 40-foot ladder this year. So like you got to be comfortable with heights. Sorry, the team we have right now is like A team all around. So like we have a job in Beausejour. I'm perfectly confident they're doing okay. Once people see that we've done quality work in the area, they'll most likely book with us just because they already see what's coming and they know we can do a quality job at their house too. We painted a hair salon on Main Street just down the road from these people's house, and like they remembered us. So this year they just called us because they were interested in getting painted done. That's how I got that one. They called the head office, and then the head office gave the lead to me. See, Nicole at the head office, she sweet talks them. They love her right off the bat, and then they'll get transferred on to me. I'll give them a call within the day and go from there. All the wood you see, fully sanded down, as smooth as possible. Then once it's smooth, we prime with an oil-based primer. Pretty standard, just to make sure that we have adhesion with the paint. And with the stucco here, you see it's chipping everywhere, it's cracking. So we caulk it, we seal it up. So we start on that side, and then once we paint it, it's honestly gonna be pretty invisible. So it looks pretty messy until we get the paint going. But like once we get that going, it's gonna look nice. I came here like 2 months ago to like take a look at the house to do the quote, and like I counted out literally every single crack on the house, every peeling chip, like everything is accounted for, and there's time for it. So like I have a rough idea of how long it's gonna take to get it looking good. So I mean, we have a budget for absolutely, obviously starts right when we have a budget for everything, labor, materials. The average painter can paint a certain amount of square footage in an hour, and that's how we do quotes. So let's say I use 125 instead of 75, or 150 instead of 250. Then with a job this big, like that could be full-on days that I'm misquoting. So you got to take into account the surface you're painting, because every surface takes on stain or paint differently, right? So I don't know, there's a lot of things you got to take into account when you're writing up a quote and making sure that everything is actually getting accounted for, you know? So with every job, there's a certain royalty you pay to StudentWorks, and that pays for basically all the administrative help that they give us. I mean, like for payroll, I do my payroll, but they handle all of the actual paperwork. They also get us in touch with our WCB coverage, our $5 million in liability coverage, our 3-year warranty, and all our training. Like, keep in mind, I did not know how to paint, didn't know how to run a business. The certain percentage you're paying with each job, it's honestly, it's worth it for the help that you get and kind of the ongoing guidance throughout the years. Gable ends need work, the window frames. If you're walking up to a door, I tell my co-collars to take mental notes of everything they see on the way up. So like if they say they're not interested, for example, off the bat, because everyone will say they're not interested right off the bat just as a reflex. But like if you say, you know what, well, like, as I was walking up, I noticed that your window frames are peeling. We offer free quotes, would you be interested? That's kind of a different approach than just like, hey, we're offering painting. Are you like, is that something you'd be interested in? So I guess in regards to the siding here, we currently have white. Do you know what you're wanting to go to? Or, yeah, perfect. Building rapport is huge. Like talking with clients, making clients like you, because a client is not gonna hire you if they don't like you. From the looks of it, it looks like it's mildew. The thing is, if it is mildew, unfortunately, it probably will come back pretty soon. So you can get rid of it for a couple weeks, but it most likely will come back because the bacteria is still there. Like I will try and make them laugh or just try and build some sort of connection on the phone on the first time we talk, just so they remember me. They'll be like, oh, you know, like I like this guy on the phone. They'll remember me in person, and then there's just an ongoing connection. They like me in person, you know what, they're probably gonna book. So, I mean, right now I'm just taking measurements. Before I took measurements of all the window frames, the gable end, the siding, and I took note of pretty much everything that's peeling. So, I mean, with paint, you don't have to be too specific when it comes to quoting it out, just because you get a rough gallon per square, or you get a rough square footage per gallon. So when we get a rough square footage of the deck, that's really all we need to get a rough guess of how much paint we'll need for the job. Yeah, I actually have to measure out the gable ends too. I mean, now I gotta do math for half an hour, but after I'm done, I'll be able to give them the price, give them how long it'll take for me to finish this job for them, and yeah, kind of go from there. I put this together for you guys. You know, we'll start off with the price, the most important part, then we'll kind of get into the specifics of what that includes. Yeah. So, regular price, we are looking at $46.06 plus GST. I mean, I love business now. Like, I never thought I would up until I started doing StudentWorks, but like, I do like it. I mean, for sales, for example, like, you get a rush when you get a sale, and it's nice.
Okay, well.
Let's say do it.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, I guess, who wants to sign? I've learned a lot from StudentWorks up until now, but honestly, I want to try other things. So whether that be going back to school for architecture, which was my original plan, and now I have some business skills to be able to run an architecture firm without having to take business school, which is nice. So many things that I want to put some focus into, and StudentWorks, I mean, it's a full-time gig, so can't really focus on anything else really while I'm doing that. Like, no one's doing work for you. You're doing your own work from the very beginning. You'll get training to do it and how to do it right, but it's up to you to get your leads, to book your work, to hire your painters, and to make sure you're doing quality work. As long as you have that drive and you have the want to succeed, I'm sure you're gonna be able to succeed.
I'd say the best combo for painting is probably playing Minecraft music.
Some of the Mojang jams.
Yeah, it's like you're crafting.
What Hands is personally my favorite, just the normal opening track.